So this video is to show you how the app VisionAssist works, and as of today, it's February 2014, it is $5.99. And essentially, before we get into it, what it is, as a low vision user myself, I've tried it out for a few weeks already, and I really love it. Like, it's not a full replacement of a portable magnifier like the Sensory Duo, for example, but it is a really good substitution, in my opinion at least. So now we can get into it. So let's unlock the iPad, go to VisionAssist. I'm just going to zoom in here so you can see what the app looks like. So it's white with the eye and that. Okay. And this is the iPad Air that we're testing it on, so it's nice, fast processing. So essentially what we're going to do, now this is just some spelling things in that for a language course, but what I like about the display here is that over to the right we have the plus button and the minus button. That's to increase and decrease the magnification. So just like you would find on a regular digital magnifier. And then over to the left we have a pause button. So if we press that, it says it's paused. And what we can do is then use the plus and minus if we want to zoom right in, and use our finger to drag around if we want, just like you would on a regular digital magnifier. So it is quite nice. And if you want to capture this image, you can have the option to, I think down here, you can have the option to save it to your photos, to your camera roll. So unpause it, there we go. So VisionAssist, before we go any further, VisionAssist can zoom into 20 times, and that's a lot more than the regular camera app that's included in iOS. Obviously the camera app is specialized for taking photographs of scenery, people, and that. This is obviously specialized for magnifying content, right? So that's why you would have that, that feature built in. So down over here to the left, I guess, we have, it looks like a circle to me. And what we have is, if you press it, the actual color changes. So now we're in black and white. Now we're in high contrast. So we can zoom in if you want. There you go. Now we're inverting contrast. Navigate. Now we're back in the regular color mode. And now if we go over to the far left here, we can actually control the brightness of the image. Now this is not for the screen brightness. This is actually the image of what you're viewing, just like you would on a regular portable magnifier. So I can increase and decrease the brightness. And see, the buttons are staying the same color. So the screen brightness is staying the same. It's just the actual image itself is changing. And let's see, right at the top, I'm just going to use the built-in zoom here so I can see. Right at the top we have, zoom out a little bit, we have the help button. If you have any questions, it shows like a legend for you. And that's an auto and fixed focus feature. So I would really like to show you that, because originally, like right now it's set to autofocus. So whatever you do, like I'm just going to zoom in. So there we go, so now it auto-focused. And you can navigate in that. But see, when you go, it's a little blurry, right? A little bit at a time. You have to move it slowly, but it's not too bad as a substitution. But so once you lock into the content you want, you can go and press it. Now it's fixed focus. So now you can navigate all of that without it really blurring as much as autofocus, right? Because autofocus, what it does is it continuously tries to adjust to the thing, right? But if you find it, you focused, right? Like you're, let's say, viewing content on a computer or this itself, right? Then you can just press the fixed focus, right? And whatever you do, it'll be nice and clear. And then, of course, you can adjust the contrast, right? Yeah, so that is really nice. Like, this is a really decent substitution. Not a replacement, but a decent substitution. And so we'll just go back to the regular color. There we go. zoom out. And then of course at the top right here you have the settings, and that's where you can adjust for the invert. You can make it so it's black on yellow, yellow on black, like to invert the highlight colors. I chose white on black, black on white as my mode color contrast. And if you scroll, you have options to, if you to disable the auto dimming and out of the screen, because that can become annoying, right? If you're constantly using it to read an article and you need to set it down once in a while. And I'm just going to try something. Okay, so there is a feature on here where it does allow you to tap the screen, and it disappear, and all the controls disappear. That way you get the full screen itself. I guess on the iPad, it's a big enough screen. You don't really need to. It doesn't really make a difference. I know on my iPod Touch, though, I tap the screen and all the controls disappear, which does make a difference because you have, 3/4 of the screen to now you're using the full 4-inch screen. So before I show you about the iPod Touch, we're going to show you a newspaper. I'm not sure how well this is going to work on an angle because we are at quite a bit of an angle, but I'll see what I can do. First of all, I want to take it out of fixed focus. So there, now it should be back in auto-focused, right? Yeah, okay. I guess we'll find out. And we just press I'm trying to get my head out of the way. We'll press the plus button. Okay. There we go. So that's nice. And so what we're going to do, now that we got it, it's kind of hard because you are holding it, right? So I'm just going to press the fixed focus. And maybe do a color contrast. There you go. I guess that's the farthest you can zoom in, and that's a newspaper. Let me get it back to the regular color. Yeah, so regular color is pretty bright there. Yeah, so yeah, you can play around with it, like I said, and it's a pretty decent solution in that. So right now, like, we're at a newspaper, so let's just put that down for a second. We're reading a newspaper about probably something like this height, I believe we were looking at on an angle, kind of. So,
12 inches.
Yeah, almost a foot or so. That's probably good. And it's a newspaper, right? So you really get this fine wee print, that normally you would hold your magnifier right up and read along it. So before we get into just a very quick overview of the differences between using an actual hardware piece like a magnifier compared to a virtual solution that you would find on a computer like the iPad and iPod. I'd just like to quickly show you the app on my iPod itself to get that difference. So what we're going to do, so it's a smaller screen to remind you. So I'm just going to use my plus buttons to zoom in. Now what I'm going to do, I don't know if I'm in fixed focus or there. Now I'm in autofocused. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, because the iPod and the iPhone have built-in lights, I can press the light bulb. So that does improve the quality. The iPads and iPad minis do not have the light built into them yet, at least. So now that I'm fixed, I can, there we go, so now it's fixed focus. And if I tap the screen, all the controls go away. Right, so once I find my setting, I can, oops, my thumb is in the way. There we go. So now I can just, very easily navigate. I can zoom in a little bit more maybe. There we go. It's a little easier there. Right? And it's not a little blurry, but once it's better than in autofocus, right? Once you have what you want, you fix it and it stays like that. And I can control the contrast, like I said. There we go. So I can make it like really bright, right? Or I can invert it. Right? So the light, and I'm still using the backlight itself, so the light really helps for clarity as well. And this iPod Touch 5 is the latest one, an iPhone 5. It has a 4-inch screen, like diagonal, of course. So, I think the Sensory Duo has a 4.3-inch screen. So this is a little smaller, but like as a portable solution, you can put this in your pocket. It's nice and light, right? It's pretty, it's not too bad at all. And like I said, if I wanted to, let's say, take a picture of that, right, or to at least pause it, right? So, like if you're doing a serial, like this weekend I was using this app for a serial number because I was putting software on a computer, right? So once I have a picture, you can zoom in, and it actually captures the entire thing. So let's say, for example, this is the title of the paper, and we weren't viewing that on the screen. We were viewing way down there. But whatever is in the actual camera, right, when you're zoomed out, it takes a picture of. And you can just navigate through it. And you should be able to, change the color of the image itself, too. So that is nice. So, yeah, and then pause it. So, essentially, and you can do the same thing on the newspaper as well. So, essentially, the main difference is that between an actual hardware piece compared to a virtual solution is that right, with the iPod Touch or the iPad, it's maybe more portable, more natural perhaps. Like I'm just thinking to apply it in the real world when you go grocery shopping or clothes shopping. Like I would probably prefer to use my iPod with that app than compared to carrying around a Sensory Duo with me. Because this is just thinner, lighter, and we're going to already have it with me. I know every day when I'm on campus, or even when I was in high school, I always had my iPad with me because now it's just easier to get things on digital for low vision user at least. So that's one alternative. A downside of using this app is that if you're really prone to motion stuff in that, due to your visual impairment, maybe not the best app, right? Because you are jiggling just a wee little bit, I know when you're taking a photo, like through the camera app, is not that much of a problem, right? Because there's auto correction in that, but you are viewing live feeds and you're viewing it so magnified, 20 times. Newspaper font from a foot up, so it's like a word or two on the screen at a time. Even if you hold it still as you can, it is going to jiggle because you are human. You're going to jiggle it. So.
So that's why an iPad holder is something that we're researching for.
Yes.
For some of these apps.
Yes, very good. Yes.
Yep.
So that is there's a solution right there. Maybe if you want to, I was actually thinking for home use, like so during the day I'm using my iPod with this app, and I find it very helpful. Like the other day, I didn't have Zoom text on a computer, but I just needed to use the computer for a quick moment to print out a document. So I just took this out, didn't have to go right up close with my, Sensory Duo. I just sat with my iPod back and zoomed in, and it was perfect. And so I was thinking when I come home, I would like to just simply, plop this, because I have an office, like a desk, so I'd like to just plop this into some kind of holder, right? And you can, whether you have an iPad or iPod, you can actually can get the appropriate adapters and connect it to your monitor or TV screen. So now you're using it like something like a portable CCTV, solution, like so to speak. So yeah, that's the main overview of VisionAssist.